Hi, I think I'll read this back. Okay, this is on the video where this is continuation, but I think I'll just name this video called Muslim Stand Up, because that's what I do here. The Muslim says to me, "You keep doing this and see where you end up, buddy." In other words, he's threatening me. And then I say, "Doing stand up in Vegas? If I did, my act could be where I dress as a Sunni Muslim in Raqqa, that is the ISIS headquarters, where I could end up on stage and say, most Muslim comedy seems to usually center around the idea of Muslims being profiled or for being possible terrorists. Like, it's really funny and absurd to think Muslims, of all people, could possibly be terrorists. Muslims being terrorists. It's just so funny that anyone in their right mind could think such a thing. Well, if I were a Muslim comedian, I think I'd have to base my Muslim comedy totally on Islamic sources, such as the Koran and Hadith, and I'd model my comedy on Rodney Dangerfield, who was Jewish. I think I'd be a Muslim Rodney Dangerfield, but make it more universal. I'd say in a mock Arabic accent, which you can see demonstrated with the Muslims on YouTube. Boy, as Muslims, we get no respect at all. I mean, whenever I tell non-Muslims I want to get ahead in the world, they run off screaming. No respect at all. I mean, whoever thought shouting Allahu Akbar in a crowded theater would be worse than shouting fire? It's just me shouting Allah is greater. That's all. No respect. I tell you, we get no respect at all. Did you hear about the camel that always wanted to be the star of stars of shows and movies? It was quite the dromedary. Oh, did you know that in paradise you can completely ignore Koran 434 and not have to beat your wives and virgins? Why? Because they are already black-eyed. Speaking about wives, why do we Muslim men not do foreplay with the wife? Why? Because we want our children to look like us and not our wives. I mean, Muhammad, Papa, says that if your wife comes first during sex, you will have a girl. Speaking about wives, yesterday I was taking my wife to her first kindergarten class, and her teacher asked me if I beat her. Well, I don't beat my wife. Maybe smack her around. But it's not like I'm going to go Bridges TV on her with Koran 1874 to 81 in mind. I tell you, we Muslims, we get no respect. No respect at all. Oh, this morning, before I washed my nose out, I sneezed and Satan flew out of it. Satan flew out of my nose. Well, it was either Satan or a booger. I can never tell for sure just before I wash. Oh, I never can tell which. I don't know about you, but if Satan does sleep in all our noses at night, I still smell terrible whether I wash him out 3 times or not. Some wise guy asked me if Satan is sleeping in my nose at the night. I said, no, he's not. No, he's not. That shut him up. Oh, I'm talking about my nose that smells terrible, not myself. Take my camel, please. Oh, did the Muslim, why did the Muslim cross the road? Why did the Muslim cross the road? Huh? Yeah. He didn't want to get his 72 virgins just yet when the IED went off. Take my goat, please. Speaking about goats, I think I could kick a goat for knowing that one goat ate away the passage of the Quran that allowed us guys to suckle women's breasts to fight off sexual temptation by making us their sons. Thanks, Mr. Goat. Not only do you eat away a part of the Koran, doing the impossible, you killed Mr. Praise be unto him, Muhammad, when he ate a poisoned version of you. Killed our beloved Prophet. It's so impossible if you think about it. It's like Islam has a trinity of its own. Allah, Muhammad, and the Holy God. But hey, Allah knows best, right? Right? Oh, why are Muslims furious that America overthrew Saddam and Gaddafi? Answer, because they can no longer do the greatest jihad by saying sugar is sweet in front of a tyrant, which according to Muhammad is the greatest jihad by saying a truth in the presence of a tyrant. Speaking about powerful words from the Prophet, Muhammad said, if any one of you say anything objectionable, first try to change it with your hand. If you cannot, then use your tongue. If you still can't, then use your heart. And the latter, heart, is the weakest form of faith. Hey, how come you're not laughing? Maybe I should have use some bongos playing when I recited that. For I have a feeling, Mr. Praise be unto him, Muhammad was the first beat poet. He was the first beat poet. Truly the first beat poet. How's this for a powerful saying from Muhammad? Our Prophet said, you have to have some bongos playing for this one when I recite it to you. Oh, because it is very deep, very heavy. I need a cigarette for this, and lit, of course, to make it more hip. Abu Huraira reported that Moses was a modest person. He was a modest Musa. He was never seen naked, and Bani Israel said, he was afraid to expose his private part because he had been suffering from scrotal hernia. He, Moses, one day took bath in water and placed his garments upon a stone. The stone began to move on quickly. He followed that stone and struck it with the help of a stone, saying, "Oh, stone, my garment! Oh, stone, my garment! Oh, stone!" Quit with the bongos. Oh, yesterday, after I picked up my other wife out of the sandbox, I read that the sun really does seek permission of Allah to rise again after it sets in a muddy spring, like the Koran and Hadith teach. Of course, the guy who wrote that said he was not a Muslim, that he was just trying to get us to believe he was another Yusuf Estes, so he could get a lot of Saudi money by pretending to be a Christian who converted to Islam. When asked why he wasn't a Muslim, the dirty dog said, quote, "Because we are never blood clots as embryos, not even for 40 seconds, let alone for 40 days like the hadith has Muhammad saying. Not even for 40 seconds, he said. Well, I'm not going to get angry at that bastard. In Allah's other book, the Bible, or as the Christians now call it, the before scriptures, the Quran says, it confirms and reminds, it says vengeance belongs to Allah. So, I'll have Allah get revenge on that kafir. Trouble is, as Quran also says, or as our brother Muslim and genius in the White House calls it, the Holy Koran, I'll have Allah get revenge on that kafir. The trouble is, as Quran also says, or as brother, one day to Allah is 1,000 years of what we count. So, I'll have to do a lot of waiting for Allah to take that revenge. Boy, will I. Yes, I call Allah there. I do that to show my respect for Allah, being that Allah shows respect to himself by calling himself we, and our, and us. I know shirk is the worst of things to Allah. But hey, Allah knows best, right? Oh, by the way, speaking about dirty dogs, I just learned recently that if you don't want angels to come into your house and thus not let Allah know what you are doing, Muhammad said, to have a picture of a dog in your house. have a picture or a dog in your house, for it will keep the angels out. I kid you not, have a picture or dog in your house. Well, I don't have a dog in my house, making it so they won't report. Yeah. Well, I don't have a dog in my house. But I do have a picture of my grandma in my house that has been there since I was born. Had I known that her picture was keeping angels out of my house, making it so they won't report back to Allah what I'm doing, I think I might have actually watched porn. Oh, well, now you tell me. Thank you, Grandma, for having your picture in my house all these years. Allah damn it. I mean, I had my ass up in the air on the prayer rug for 50 friggin' years for nothing thanks to that picture. Oh, well. Hey, aren't you glad that Muhammad flew that al-Barak up into heaven to talk Allah down from 50 prayers a day to the current 5? Aren't you glad Mr. Praise be unto him flew that human-headed winged donkey-like creature with the tail of a peacock up into heaven after visiting the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem to talk Allah down after listening to Prophet Moses? I know I'm supposed to say, I know. You're supposed to say, yeah, with great enthusiasm. No, I wish Muhammad didn't talk all that down from 50, having us do 50 prayers a day to the current 5. But, hey, my feet are going to be dirty again right when I walk out of the mosque. Oh, by the way, why did the boulder carrying clothing cross the road? Answer? Because Allah wanted people to see someone naked running after and attack the running boulder for taking off with his clothes. Man, I tell you, we as Muslims, we get no respect. No respect at all. Oh, last week, did you feel the earthquake? Good thing Allah placed down the mountains as pegs on the earth, or the giant fish, well, none, that the earth is spread out on might have really done some damage here with its agitation. I talked with a brother yesterday to find out what he thought of that shaker, but he said he is more interested in his study of ants. He said he's on the verge of finding out the chemical odors of ants that spells out for an ant. Oh, ants, get ye to your dwelling places so that ye aren't crushed by Solomon and his troops as they perceived not. Like the Koran says, an ant calls out to its fellows, as described in the surah called the ant. I told him to get back to me when he finds out what all ants smells like. You know, because ants use scent to communicate with. Well, from your laughter, I take it that I didn't bomb on stage. I'll save bombing on stage for when I join ISIS while obeying Koran 111, 38, and 39. Of course, it might be for nothing if the angel that came to me in the womb had instructions written by Allah telling me and Allah's special decree in the future that I'll be one of the residents of the hellfire when I'm just 1 cubit length away from Jannah paradise after I was a blood clot for 40 days and before I was born. Oh, by Allah, you've been a great audience. And that's it.